Harsh realities made me an antinatalist. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. You cannot brainwash yourself. See, once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. I remember last year there were these pictures with hidden messages that were trending. These pictures were created by AI. To see the hidden messages, you had to squint your eyes and you'd see the hidden messages. But once you see the hidden messages, every time when you look at those pictures, you'll be able to see the hidden messages. But it would be hard for you to see the hidden messages at first. That's life. It's hard to see the truth at first. But once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. When I was young, I was very optimistic. I thought that things were going to work out for everyone. I mean, it's unnatural to assume that the world that your parents who love you have brought you into is evil. I mean, your parents love you. Why will they bring you into a world that is evil? It's hard to, assume that might be the case. It's hard to assume that the universe that your parents brought you into is unfriendly. It's unnatural to think that. You think that, well, your parents love you, they brought you into a universe that is good. It's hard to assume that your parents might have been brainwashed, they might have been manipulated, they might have been conditioned to think in a way that makes them make unnecessary mistakes. You think, my parents are smart. My parents know what they're doing. I mean, when you were young, you'd ask your parents many questions because you assume that they knew everything. And of course, they're supposed to know everything. You knew that they were supposed to know everything. I mean, why bring a child into a world that you don't understand? So yeah, they had to know everything. It is important to know. But nah. Your parents know nothing. That's a joke. Like, that's supposed to be a joke. It's not supposed to be reality. It's supposed to be a joke that's, someone has made up, not reality. It's almost unbelievable that we live in a world that we do not understand. It's almost unbelievable. We live in a world that we really do not understand. Your parents brought you into a world that they do not understand. And there are many horrible things that are happening. And most people in our society have turned a blind eye to these horrible things that are happening. Most people pretend as if these horrible things are not happening. When I was young, I was very, very optimistic. I thought, man, this world is good, man, everything is gonna work out for everyone. Even when I had problems, I'll be like, I'm just young, When you're still young, of course, you're gonna have problems, but things are gonna make sense when you grow older. When we're mean to one another as kids, our parents would discipline us, our teachers will discipline us, so we'll think, well, the world is good. They're disciplining us because we're doing things that are bad. But when we get older, we'll do the right things, just like they're doing the right things. We didn't know We didn't know that no, people are cruel. People are inherently evil. We didn't know that. That is why when you were young, even if you were not happy, because there are some people who tell me they weren't happy even when they were young. When I was young, I was happy. But there are people who tell me that they weren't happy when they were young. But you weren't very sad. It's like, yeah, you play with other kids and you'd feel good sometimes. But now you have seen a lot of things. So you did not feel good. When I was young, I was happy. I thought things were going to work out, even when I seen bad things happening, but I wasn't like really, really trying to understand why these bad things are happening. I would just think, oh, well, because we're still learning, because I would only see bad things happening to like kids, because of course I would play with other kids, and our parents would protect us from certain realities. So we didn't know how horrible the world is. But as you get older, you realize that things become worse. As you get older, you realize that no. Things are becoming worse here. But then you think, but when I get older, things are going to be fine. Things are going to make sense. And then you get older and realize that, whoa, things were good when I was a kid. Things are never getting better. Things are only becoming worse. When I was a kid, yeah, things were good. When I was young, things were good. But now, things are bad and they are never going to become better. We thought that if we had technology that allowed us to communicate with people from overseas, would feel good. That doesn't work. We thought that if we had cars that would feel good. No, that didn't work. We thought that if we had access to all the movies that we wanted, would feel good. No, that didn't work. We thought that if we were able to have access to music that we want, as soon as it gets released, we feel good. But that doesn't seem to work. It seems like people are lonelier than ever. You want to know why? People are seeing the truth. People are seeing the truth. When bad things happen to some people in some part of the world, it's easy for you to know what happened to them. And back then, bad things would happen to people and we didn't know that these things are happening to people. You see, you'd only see what is happening in your own life. You would not know that there are some people who are getting shot for no good reason. There are wars that are happening in other countries. You didn't really know that. And if they told you that, there are wars that are happening in other countries, you would just assume that, it's just soldiers fighting, kids are not getting killed, innocent people are not getting killed. People weren't really communicating about what's going on in their lives like that. Like, we didn't really know that much. Like, the more you know, the sadder you become. You see, the more you know, the sadder you become. We know too much now. That is why we're sad. See, this is not a friendly world. But if you don't know that, you would feel good, right? Because you don't know the truth. But once you know the truth, you can't unknow it. So you feel sad. You become pessimistic. Like, well, when are things going to change? I mean, when I was growing up, I thought that things were going to change, but things only changed for the worse. Things only became worse. I wanted things to change for the better, but things only became worse. And it seems like things are becoming worse. It seems like I will never be happy. I've only experienced happiness when I was a kid because I didn't know what was going on. But because now I know what is going on, I'm unhappy. And I shouldn't be happy knowing what is going on. Seeing people suffering shouldn't make me happy because that's gonna be me next time. Seeing people starving shouldn't make me happy because that's gonna be me next time. Seeing someone dying from a disease shouldn't make me happy because that's gonna be me next time. I'm human. I mean, I feel like I'm not I'm not like other humans, but it is important to realize that these horrible things that we see happening to other people can happen to us. Even if you have money now, doesn't mean that you're going to have money forever. Things can change very quickly. Now, this world doesn't care. This world doesn't care about you. Things can change really quickly. So just because you feel safe now, because you have some few things, doesn't mean that you are really safe. That's just an illusion that you've created. The truth is, no one is safe. I'm happy that I've been able to see some harsh realities of life, because that allowed me to make the right decision, which is not to have children. It's a very important decision to make as a human, because you don't want other people to go through what you've went through, and you don't want other people to go through the negative things that other people are going through. What better way to prevent that from happening than not having kids? You know that each and every person that is here because they were born. So you decide that, well, okay, I thought that this world was good when I was young because I didn't know enough. But now that I know enough, I am not going to have children. Because I decided to not have children, my child is not suffering right now. My child is not going to some school where they're being taught nonsense. My child is not stressing about anything right now. My child is not crying. My child is not dealing with sicknesses. My child is not getting bullied. My child is not getting indoctrinated. My child is not getting lied to. I've made a very good decision, because I do not want to see people going through the things that they are going through in this world. It's not just about me. I have suffered, yes, but I have learned a lot from my suffering. So I don't care that I've suffered, because I have learned a lot from my suffering. My suffering made me realize how horrible this world is, how horrible this world can be. I didn't suffer more than other people, but I'm a realist. I've suffered and I'm a realist. I was able to see things as they really are because I'm a realist. Because if you're a realist, it's easier for you to see the truth. It's much harder for people who are delusional to see the truth than it is for a person who's a realist. Because if you're delusional, you'll see bad things happening and you allow your delusions to confuse you. You'd see bad things happening and tell yourself, no, this is happening for the greater good. No, it isn't. These bad things are happening because the world is cruel. You think that animals that are getting killed in the wild are getting killed in the wild because something good is going to happen? Or they're getting killed because other animals are trying to survive, and the only way for them to survive is by killing other animals. And that's how it works. It's a cruel world. This is not beautiful. Nature is not beautiful. Life is not beautiful. This is not a beautiful game, bro. People are forced to play without their consent. How can that be a beautiful game? Consent is important. If this was a beautiful game, there would be a way for us to consent. No one consented to this. Yes, some people love the fact that they're here because, well, things have to work out for some people. I mean, if I decided right now that I'm going to steal money from people that I know, I'm going to tell them that I stole their money and use their money to, bet. Let's say I win some bets and I lose some bets. The people whose money won the bet will feel good because, of course, I'll give them their money and more money, of course. But those whose money did not win will be mad because, well, they'll get nothing in the end. That's life. You're betting with other people's lives. Things might work out for you. That's possible, You can't be born into a world without their consent, and things do work out. You find that people love you, people understand you, people treat you well, people give you things that you want. It's easy for you to get a job. It's easy for you to start a business. It's easy for you to get support for your business. Things can work out for you. But do realize that there are people who have worked as hard as you've worked who have nothing, or who have worked much harder than you've worked and who have nothing because they just weren't lucky, because it all comes down to luck, because everyone is working hard. You think people just wake up in the morning and that's it? Everyone has tried. Even people who are not doing anything right now, they've tried at some point until they became very discouraged because they kept on getting negative results. Some can't try anymore because they have diseases that they are suffering from. Some are traumatized. They've experienced a lot of things that actually traumatize them. So they are very anxious. They don't want to do anything at all. But if you feel like you still want to do something, if you don't feel anxious, if you are not sick, you're lucky. See, it's hard for people to appreciate their health when they're not sick. Like, if you've never really been sick in your life, you don't even appreciate your health. And when other people tell you that they're sick, it feels like they're lying. If a person tells you that they have cancer, it's because you've never suffered from cancer. Like, yeah, whatever. Like it doesn't feel real to you. It doesn't even feel like that person suffering from cancer is a person. It's like, hey, I don't know. Like it doesn't feel like they're real until you suffer from cancer and you realize that, whoa, this is how it feels like. And then when another person comes and tell you that they're suffering from cancer, that's when you start to sympathize with them because now you get it. People who have been very lucky in this world don't really understand how bad this world is, how bad one's life can get. It's like, well, things can just work out. If people treat you well, you think, wow, people would treat each and every person well. I remember this other day I was talking to this guy. We used to be friends, me and him. I was telling him that there's this other day where I got stuck in Pretoria. I was supposed to go back to Joburg. I didn't have money to go back to Joburg, and it was late, and I didn't have a place to sleep. I didn't know anyone, and I was able to make more than $100 in about 20 minutes, just asking money from people. So I was telling him that you can ask for money from people. He didn't have money to go somewhere. I was like, go and ask money from people. And he told me that we're not the same. We don't have the same luck in this life. You might find that people feel like helping you when you ask for their help. But when I ask for their help, they don't help me. Life is not treating us the same. There are some people who've been trying to get a job for many years. They can't even get a job. They can't even get a bad job. They've been trying, but they can't get it. And there have been people who have never really tried to get a job, who are working right now and who have a good job. It happens. We don't have the same luck in this life. So if you've never really experienced life from the perspective of someone who's been trying very hard and who kept on losing, you'll not be able to sympathize with them. You just tell yourself stories that are going to make you feel good about your own life. Like, oh, that person just didn't work hard enough. That person is just lazy. I'm where I am because I've worked very hard. When things are not going well in my life, well, I try to fix them. I don't just sit down and complain. I just try to fix the problems that I have. Some people don't fix their problems. They just, complain and start thinking about negative things that are going on in their lives and complain and complain and complain. You don't know what other people are really going through because you're not them. I do believe that if each and every person was able to see the harsh realities of life, and when I say see, I don't mean to just see people going through hell. I mean, really find themselves seeing everything that these people are going through, seeing what caused these things that they're going through. I'm not just talking about you seeing someone jumping from a building. No, you have to see everything. What happened? What went wrong in their lives? Why did bad things happen to them? What did they try to do in their lives to make it? Like you can try so hard and things still don't work out. It's not like things are guaranteed. It doesn't mean that if you work hard, things are going to work out. You've been lied to a lot. Oh, work very hard. You must work so hard that you forget to eat. You must work so hard that you forget to sleep. You must work so hard that you forget your phone. If you're still thinking about using TikTok, you're not working hard enough. If you're still thinking about your ex-girlfriend, you're not working hard enough. Like, chill. This is real life, bro. This is real life. Not everyone is going to be like David Goggins. We love different things. Some people want simple lives. They want simple lives. They don't want to be celebrities. They don't want to be the best at what they do. They don't want to own the world, They don't want to rule the world like that. They just want simple lives. But they can't even have simple lives because this world is very complicated. This world is very complicated. You see, if every month you are able to make money, it's going to be hard for you to see reality from the perspective of someone who makes no money. I was talking to Gerald from the Peace of Mind podcast 2 days back. I was telling him that, the unemployment rate in South Africa is very high. More than 60% of young people who are educated don't have jobs. The government gives them $350 every month. I mean, sometimes they don't get it. And they don't know who to complain to. But yeah, the government gives people who are unemployed $250 every month. And I told them, $250 is like $20, bro. He was surprised, like $20? And I told him, bro, you know what will happen? And saying this makes me feel emotional. People will go and queue for 2-3 days for $20. I'm not lying to you. All right? Some people would sleep in the queue because a lot of young people are unemployed, so the queues will be super long. Some people will queue for like 2-3 days. I'm not lying to you. Without food. They don't have food. Queuing for how much? $250. What are they going to buy with $250? Well, they're stressed. They probably buy alcohol. Guys are going to buy alcohol, give their girlfriends $100. They're left with like $150 and buy some food, and that's it. It's like, bro, life isn't the same for everyone. That's what you must understand. Once you see some truth, you realize that this world is cruel. You realize that there isn't a God that really cares about what's going on in our lives. So some people will be like, well, there is a God and this God cares about us. If you pray, if you have faith, if this... Listen. The reason why prayer seems to work sometimes is because some of y'all are lucky. There are Christians who believe that they are where they are because they pray and God is faithful and is faithful to them because they had faith in Him. No, you were just lucky. The reason why it's hard for some people who are not really like suffering like crazy to realize that the religions that they believe in are not true is because things are working out for them. If things are working out for you and you are praying, you assume that it's prayer that's making things work out for you. Be like, well, I prayed for this job that I have, so that means that prayer works. I prayed for this house that I have, so that means that this prayer works. No, it means that you're just lucky. You prayed and you're also lucky, so things worked out for you. It had nothing to do with prayer. It had everything to do with luck. You were just lucky, so you have the things that you want. Some people were not lucky, so they don't have the things that they want. That is why some children are born in rich families and some children are born in really poor families. It all boils down to luck. What did these children do to deserve to be born where they are born? What did the children who were born in very poor family do to deserve to be born in poor families? What did the kids who were born in very rich families do to deserve to be born in rich families? You realize that it all boils down to luck. Life has to do with luck. Success has to do with luck. You can do the right things and still not make it. You can be a good person, you can be a decent person, you can have good morals and still not make it. You can have a good work ethic and still not make it. You can be a horrible person who hates everyone, and when I say hates everyone, I mean like really hates everyone. You don't want other people to make it. You're against everyone. You don't want things to work out for other people. You only want things to work out for yourself and still make it. This life doesn't care if you're a good person. This life doesn't care if you're a bad person. That's what you must realize. It doesn't care. The universe doesn't care. This world is uncaring. This world is cold. But that's something that a lot of people still do not want to accept. They still want to be controlled by their delusions, and they keep on making unnecessary mistakes because of their delusions. It's better to realize what the truth is so that you will know exactly what you need to do rather than remaining delusional. Because if you remain delusional, you're going to make a lot of unnecessary mistakes because of your delusions. You must be able to see how the world works. You must know that, hey, in this world, horrible things do happen to innocent people. Horrible things do happen to people who have not done anything at all. No? Horrible things do happen to children. Horrible things do happen to old people. And horrible things can happen to my child if I bring a child into this world. Horrible things can happen to me. Horrible things can happen to anyone. So you must always be aware so that you don't make unnecessary mistakes. Having a child is a serious gamble. It's something that people must think deeply about. You gotta think deeply about that. You mustn't be so close-minded that you don't see what is going on in the world. You just only believe what other people are telling you about what is going on in the world. You don't try to see what is going on in the world for yourself. You allow other people to tell you what is going on in the world as if they know something that you don't, as if they have the answers. No, they'll just use you. You just make their lives easier because you follow them, treat them like gods, even if they don't care about you and even if they're not going to help you in your life in a way that is actually real. They will just keep on taking from you, taking from you, taking from you, while giving you nothing in return. That's what these pastors do. They keep on taking from people without giving them anything of value in return. They rely on the fact that you are delusional. Like, okay, they're delusional. This is what they believe. Okay, it means I can get them to do things for me because of what they believe. I wouldn't want to bring my child into a world where they can be lied to by people and become Christians. I would feel very sad if I brought a child into this world and that child became a Christian or that child became a Muslim or they followed any religion, any cult. I'll be very sad because I know that I will not be able to free them. You know, they'll hate me if I try to free them. I'll be the enemy if I try to free them. So I wouldn't want to bring a child into this world where they can get used for no good reason. This world is really cruel, man. There are a lot of things that are happening that are horrible. Just because horrible things are not happening to you does not mean that horrible things are not happening to some people. This world is cold, bro. These people that are going through things that are horrible in this world are people just like you. They were born into this world without that consent, just like you. They don't know what's going on, just like you don't know what is going on. It's not like they've done horrible things to deserve what is happening to them. You were lucky, they were not lucky. People who are in hospitals right now with serious sicknesses, they were brought into this world by people who didn't know what they were doing. You know, if parents had power, had some superpowers to like heal their children when they're sick, I would understand. But anything can happen. Why gamble with someone else's life? Well, the level of arrogance that people have. Yeah, gambling with another person's life, man, when you bring them here. You gotta create someone for a purpose if you're gonna create them. This is something that I was talking about with Josh from the antinatalist advocacy podcast. Why would you create a new person without a reason? You just create a person because you feel empty. That's not a good reason. That's not even a reason to even create a person. You can't do something that's gonna affect someone the way that being born actually affects someone just because you feel lonely. Can you imagine if, as humans, when we felt lonely, when we felt empty, we decided to do things that are harmful because that's how we feel? Imagine how the world would be. I feel empty, maybe because I don't have a car, so I must just go and rob someone. Just because you feel empty doesn't mean that you must do things that are immoral. It doesn't mean that you must do things that you know are going to affect other people in a very big way. Being conscious is a big deal, you know. Being conscious, knowing that you exist, that's a big deal. Don't tell yourself that you have given someone a gift when you make them conscious. You didn't give them a gift. It wasn't that's not what was on your mind when you created them, that I want to give someone a gift. It was never about them. You felt empty, you felt lonely, and you created a new person because you don't know what to do with your own life. What are they going to do with their lives if you don't know what to do with your own life? What do you think your children are going to do with their lives? A lot of people who have not figured out what to do in this world and are bored. You know, people are bored, man. People are bored. When I walk in the streets, I see people who are bored, you know. You see people are not happy. You greet people, and the way that they respond to you, you see that this one is not happy. You be like, hey, how are you? Like, I'm good, and you? Like, there's no excitement. It's like, you know, it's like they're just responding to you because, well, you greeted them, so they gotta respond. There's no excitement. We don't. If this life was great, trust me, when you meet new strangers, you greet them and be excited, you know. We'll trust one another, because we wouldn't be, treating each other badly as people. So we'll trust one another like that. So you meet a stranger in the street, greet them, and you're happy to have met a stranger. You know what I mean? You'll be excited. You'll be excited to speak to new people. But now there's no excitement. You know that everyone is the same. Everyone is selfish. Everyone is, looking out for themselves. So you don't really care. You just care about your own life. You just care about making your own money. Like, hey, I gotta make money and try to make things work out for me. I wanna sit this side because I was exposed to the sun. Yeah, like I was saying, people are not excited, People are not excited when you meet them. People are not even excited about life. They're so used to their lives. They're so used to doing the same things each and every day. So they're bored. Everyone is bored, man. Everyone is bored. So really, creating a new consciousness is not a good idea. It's a very bad idea, especially if you are creating this new consciousness because you feel empty. You are creating a vicious cycle. You are being weak. It has something to do with being weak. If you are doing something because of your emotions, you are being weak. It must get to a point where when you do things that actually make sense to you, things that you can explain. I'm doing this for this reason. I'm creating a new person because I know that they are needed in this society. I believe that this new person is going to do this and that and that. And you know what I mean? When people create children, they don't know why they are creating them. They don't know what they are creating them. And that guy from the social experimentalist channel, used to ask people why their parents had them. And they wouldn't know. It's so funny that we feel like that is okay, that we don't know why our parents had us. Like that's okay. They had us. Like, no, that's a big deal. We must know why your parents had you. Because having children is a big deal. There are a lot of things that before we do them, we think deeply about them. Like, before you choose a career, you think deeply about it. Like, okay, which career do I want? You know what I mean? When it comes to having children, people don't think. They don't think deeply about having children. They don't ever think, well, do I want to have children or do I not want to have children? Okay, I want to have children, but why do I want to have children? Is it even ethical to have children? Will I even be able to be there for them? Will I even be able to raise them right? Make sure that they become exactly what they need to be in life so that they'll become productive in our society, so that they don't have to deal with, traumas from having me as a parent because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. The people don't think like that. And they blame their children if things don't go right. Listen, if you're going to have a child and things don't work out for that child, it's 100% your fault. It was a fault from the beginning. You brought them into a world where you knew that things might not work out for them. You see, that's you gambled with their lives. Secondly, you didn't raise them the way that they needed to be raised for them to actually thrive. Because every person can thrive in this world. But they need to be raised right. You need to know how to raise them. So if you fail to raise them right, that's on you. You mustn't even complain if they don't amount to shit, because it's your fault. You didn't raise them right. You didn't know what you were doing. You were just copying other people. You didn't even have enough resources to be able to raise another person. So it's 100% your fault. You mustn't complain if things don't work out in their lives. And on top of all of that, things are becoming worse in the world. Things are becoming worse for younger people. That's what you must realize. Like, the world is changing. The people who are in power are becoming more and more powerful, more powerful than they've ever been. Understand? People who are in power are more powerful than they've ever been. They're really that powerful right now. With the technologies that they have, they can monitor our actions. It's the satellites that they have everywhere. They know what's going on in the world. They're able to spy on us. Like, they own us. They own us right now. They're able to make us do things that we never even thought we would do. They're able to change our opinions. No, they're playing us. Making sure that we do exactly what they want us to do. And it's easy for them to play us because they do have power. They have social media. They can use social media to manipulate us. They can tell us stories that are not true. And we'll believe these stories because, well, the majority of people are dumb. Like Joe Rogan said, most of us are dumb. It's like, I'm dumb, but yet I'm smarter than almost every person I meet. You have to understand that most people are dumb. Try to have conversations with random strangers in the street. You realize that people are dumb. You realize that people cannot think for themselves. So it's easy for people who have power to actually manipulate us because, well, majority of people are dumb. And we live in a world where we pick the side, or the side that has many people wins. But like, well, the majority of people voted for this person, so that means that they're right. This person should become president. Well, the majority of people were manipulated. It's not like they've done their research. It's not like they know why they voted for that person. So you see, this is not the kind of world that you want to bring your child into, man. This is the kind of world that you must save your children from. You are here and you have seen what is going on, so you should be like, no, I'm glad that I've experienced life the way that I've experienced it, because now I'm not going to have children because of what I saw. I'm not going to bring my children into this world to suffer like I have, or to suffer like how other people have suffered. Even if you do not suffer, it doesn't mean that it should be impossible for you to understand antinatalism. If you're not selfish and closed-minded, you should be able to understand antinatalism, because you try to see things from other people's perspectives. You try to understand what other people are saying, because not everyone is the same. You see, not everyone is the same. It's important to realize that not everyone is the same. So you must keep your eyes open. Try to see what is going on, and don't try to invalidate other people's experiences. Oh, everything is happening for a reason, blah blah blah. Hey man, when people tell you what they've went through, try to understand that they've really went through what they're telling you they've went through. Stop trying to invalidate their experiences. Someone tells you what they've been through, like, oh, I went through the same thing, but like, nah, try to listen first. And if you see that they want you to help them, then you can tell them that, okay, when I was going through this kind of situation, here's what I did. That's what's going to help you understand other people better. You don't understand people better by talking too much, by having everyone focus on you. You understand people better by trying to listen to what they're saying, allowing them to express themselves as honestly as they can. They must be free to be open when they're talking to you. Because there are some people in this world, when you try to talk to them, because of how ignorant they are, they say some ignorant things that you like, well, I can't speak to this person, I can't get through this person. And then they complain and say you don't talk to them. It happens. You find that you're very close to someone and you try to explain to them what you've been through, and they're so close-minded to understand what you're telling them, and you stop talking to them about what you've been through, and they say you don't talk to you're not open. You don't open enough. You don't open up enough. That does happen. But it is important to try to listen to other people's stories. That's how you understand reality better. That's how you see the harsh realities of this world, by listening to what other people have been through. You don't necessarily have to have been through hell yourself. But if other people have been through hell, you must listen to their stories and realize how lucky you are to have not experienced life from their perspective. And hope that you don't get to experience life the way that they've experienced life. Because it seems like no one is safe. I was watching a video of this guy. He was a bodybuilder, just that I forgot his name. He was a very famous bodybuilder. He was big, man. He was big. He had muscles. He was really, really big. I was watching a video of his 2 days back. That guy can't even walk. They have to carry him now. Like, things can change in this world, you know. This reality is so messed up. So when things are going well for you, you know, you must know that it's possible that things can go very bad. Things can go very badly. This reality is very unpredictable. Doesn't mean that just because things are working out for you, they will always work out for you. So keep your eyes open and realize where you are. And realize that antinatalism truly does make sense. It doesn't make sense because the world is horrible. It makes sense because you are bringing someone into a world that they didn't consent to be in, and there are things that they can happen that they might not like. You mustn't be like, well, antinatalist think the world is horrible. The world is not horrible. Yes, there are good things that happen, the bad things that happen, but that doesn't mean that the world is horrible. You know, suffering can, make you a better person. Blah, 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 blah. Suffering builds character. No, you shouldn't look at it that way. You must understand that you're bringing a new person that might not like the experience, even if they're wrong. You see, they might not like the experience because they don't understand what is going on. That is also, highly unlikely, but it's also possible that someone might not like the experience because they don't understand what is going on. But no matter what the reason is, the truth is that there are some people who are in this world who do not love this experience and who wish that this could end. So these people are suffering because they were brought here by a person who thought they were doing the right thing. They didn't really think. It's not like people really think before they bring children into this world. But it is important that we try our best to see things as they are. We try our best to squint our eyes. Because once we see things as they are, it's hard for us to unsee the truth. It will be hard for us to unsee the truth. So we'll be able to make better decisions than to just repeating the mistakes that other people have made in the past. There are a lot of mistakes that many people have made in the past, and we keep on repeating these mistakes because we are unable to see the truth. The good thing is that now we're getting to see things that people who came before us didn't really see because of technology. And that's why each and every person that you talk to, I mean, maybe not each and every person, but most people that you talk to will tell you that the world is messed up. And that's because they are able to see what is going on. They might not be able to see everything, but they are able to see some things, which is something that's important. Thank you, guys.